Many of times on this show how college football is starting to look like a lot like the NFL. Well, same thing is happening in baseball right now. For the first time ever, a big league club is going to the college level to select its next manager. Tony Vitello is headed to the San Francisco Giants as the new baseball coach. Of course, won the Men's College World Series just last year. Tony Vitello now headed to the Bay Area. Welcome to Southeast Sports Plus, a big news day to start off. Gerhard Mathangani, Patrick Walsh with you. And Patrick, this is a kind of a huge event here, not just for the professional ranks, for what it means for what we're seeing now in professional baseball, but also for the college ranks. The reigning national champion now off to the major leagues.
I mean, shocked, confused, a little bit of chaos going on. I mean, you could use any adjective in the world, and I don't think it could quite describe this. But no, we heard over the weekend that Tennessee head baseball coach Tony Vitello was apparently closing in on a deal to go ahead and manage the San Francisco Giants, and now we have been told that that is official. So he will be the first MLB manager to go from the college level to the pros without any pro experience before. I mean, it's absolutely insane.
It is insane. And I think that that's one of the big things that we're seeing in this kind of sea change as it relates to coaches and as it relates to the way that these franchises are managing their coaches. And baseball is obviously a lot different from football. And we'll get into the nitty-gritty of it. But a lot of them are looking for younger voices. Yes. A lot of them are looking for guys that are relatable to today's players. And it feels like Vitello, with his experience on the college level, seems to be a natural fit here. Whether this works or not, only time will tell, but it does seem like it points to a change that we're seeing all across coaching, not just in football, because we saw it in football with guys like Sean McVay and guys like Drew Canales that's in Carolina right now. We're seeing it in the NBA with guys like J.J. Redick, who just got a job with the Los Angeles Lakers, and other coaches who are fresh off the court, now fresh off the diamond, so to speak, now going to the pros here. It kind of represents a sea change that I'm excited about.
Yeah, and I mean, we have seen over the past few years a bit of a shift in baseball where players show their emotions a lot more now. And Tony Vitello was a coach that totally accepted it. Yeah. Nowadays, you know, you have some of the traditionalist coaches where it's like just let your playing do the talking. Go ahead, round the bases. Don't bat flip. Don't pimp home runs. Don't do anything like that. Tony Vitello is no. This is baseball. You should show your emotion. You should get fired up because I mean. The one thing that I always am going to remember about Tony Vitello at Tennessee is, ironically, a guy that he's now going to go manage in Drew Gilbert. Yeah. After he hit a walk-off grand slam in the NCAA Regional in 2022 against, I believe it was Wright State. And that bat flip, honestly, could rival Joey Bats up in Toronto.
Exactly.
I mean, it was... That was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that was a Titanic home run. I just remember him just being exuberant. And the old rules, as you said, the old rules in baseball were all like, hey, you know, just go to the next thing. But, I mean, we're seeing it, whether it's touchdown celebrations and just celebrations in general. I mean, today's athlete is just a lot more vibrant when it comes to sports. And so it's like, why mute that? Why pour water on that? And Vitello, he was one of those guys that really celebrated it, and it showed in his team's play. And as you mentioned before we started the show, and I want to give you credit for this, is the fact that Vitello came out and he basically took a program that was nowhere. Yes. Tennessee's athletic program obviously has a ton of great athletes, a ton of great football players, a ton of great women's basketball players under Pat Summitt, a lot of great men's basketball players, but the baseball program was somewhat dormant, and it was really Vanderbilt who stole all the limelight until he came in.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the record right here, 341 and 131, 3 College World Series appearances, 2 SEC titles. Obviously, you can't forget about 2024 when they won the College World Series title, and they were 4 home runs away from tying the all-time record set by LSU back in the 90s.
Yep.
But again, it's 2022, in my opinion, that really sticks out to me. They went 57-9. It was a disappointing season because they lost in the Super Regional to Notre Dame.
Right.
But when you could start 31-1 in baseball, I don't care who you play against.
Yep.
It's still baseball. Anything can happen, but 31-1.
It's insane.
I mean, that was just incredible at the time. And I went back and looked at that game 3 of the Super Regional. 6 of the 9 starters in the starting lineup are either in the majors right now or in the minor leagues.
Wow.
And that's not even including the pitchers. I mean, you could go down the list with the pitchers who are also in the major leagues right now.
That's insane. And when you think about a guy that, and part of the reason why I think the Giants wanted him is because he can develop some of these guys. And in baseball right now, we will see where we get with the salary cap and everything else if that stuff comes into fruition. I don't necessarily think it will, but baseball is kind of going through a sea change to where I think now the manager will start to be more of a developer again. It was that role for a bit, and then now it seems like the GMs have kind of taken over the job. For Vitello, because now we're just going to play pop psychologist here. What do you think that? Because obviously he sends a lot of guys to the pros.
Yes.
And I know he knows a lot of managers in the pros.
Right.
Do you think that he believes that for him, from a challenge perspective, this is a leg up? Because when you're in college, you are the face of the program. You get to make sure all your guys are in, and it feels like you're losing a lot of that power from when it comes to roster management at the major league level.
This is I was thinking about this right before we came on. I was like, man, how is this relatable to anything?
Yeah.
Like how can you relate this? And while the correlation I'm not going to make is entirely accurate, this is probably as close to as Nick Saban going to the Miami Dolphins as you're going to get in baseball.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, Saban won a title at LSU. And then you look at Vitello, completely changed that Tennessee program. It just has a weird feeling because you don't know if this is going to work out because he's the first guy to go to the pros without any pros experience.
That's true, yeah.
So, I mean, you just look at the whole situation. It feels like a giant gamble for the Giants. And who knows if it's going to pay off or not. But if it doesn't pay off, I can promise you one thing. He is going to come right back to the SEC if this doesn't work out for him.
So I was going to ask you that. Do you think this is a bit of like hey, he's playing with house money? Because he understands that he can go back to college where it's like, hey, I think every college coach at one point, you take a look at I think every high school coach takes a look at the college level, and they want a piece of that. I think every college coach takes a look at the professional level, and they want a piece of that as well. You want to obviously compete with the highest and the best as far as what you do. Do you think a part of this is because Vitello's thinking to himself, hey, I can play with a little bit of house money here because I have my college national championship, and if he does want to go back to college, let's just say he gets fired after 3, 4, 5 years or wants to step down or whatever, he feels like, hey, I can go right back to the developmental area in college ball.
I think so because, as you know, being a manager in the majors is a lot different than being a head baseball coach.
That's right.
Because in the majors, you aren't really like coaching. You're just managing the game.
Yes.
You have all of your hitting coaches, your bench coaches, and all of that, all of your position coaches. I think it's going to be the hardest challenge for him is managing all the egos. Because in college, when you're the head baseball coach, you're like the head honcho. The thing is, in the majors, they just see you as another guy. They don't see you as like a head baseball coach. I mean, you're just, hey, Skip, how's it going? You having a good day today? Oh, I'm glad.
And Vitello, as a college coach, you know your team. So when you go send the batting lineup to the umpires, like, you know your squad. You know if your number 3 hitter has been slumping, if he failed a test, if he's if he's got a bum ankle and he needs to hit deeper, or he needs to sit out for a game or whatever. And it's up to you to decide 1 through 9 and decide your starting pitcher and who comes in middle relief if you have it, who your closer. And it feels like, and I don't know the day in, day out workings of every Major League Baseball squad, but it feels like today's day and age that batting order is sent to you. As a manager.
I can 9 times out of 10 in the majors nowadays, it's sent to you by the front office. All you have to do is just fill it out.
And you fill it out. So to me, it feels like more game 1 to game 162. Like you said, managing egos. Managing guys from a headspace perspective, keeping them engaged. It's a long season. It's a much longer season than I mean, college baseball, you just put it up. I mean, college baseball, you play at the most, 70 games? 65
I think they played 78 games when they won the College World Series.
Correct, yes. So double that, more than double that for the regular season, much less for what you're doing in the postseason as well. So you have to prepare for a longer grind, a longer haul, and so I think that it does weigh on you a little bit more from a professional's perspective, but I'm really interested in that. And from the other side of that, now this is because of Vitello, this is now one of the marquee jobs in college baseball that is now up for grabs here. I'm really interested to see who Tennessee goes to, or maybe if they have a contingency plan, a backup plan of one of Vitello's guys that might not be going with him to San Fran.
Yeah, what I've heard so far is that they might just hire from within, which honestly I think is the right move. But you got to at least do the due diligence and do a national search, because this is obviously the #1 opening in America right now for a head baseball coach at a program that before Tony Vitello, I'm sorry, Vol fans, you could disagree with me or not, this was non-existent. This wasn't even a thought in the SEC.
Yes.
But Tony Vitello led them to 6 straight super regional appearances. I mean, that's just unheard of as is.
Yeah.
But to do that after being a dormant program in the bottom of the SEC for a long time, and as I was mentioning to you right before the show, when your best baseball player is named Todd Helton before you came in, that's something. And then I was going down the notable alumni page on Baseball Reference earlier, and I was like, 3/4 of those guys were under Tony Vitello.
Yep.
So, I mean, it just goes to show you that, hey, he can change a program, and I believe whoever's going to come after him, they're going to do a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just it's a program that just bleeds success.
Right.
I think the football team now starting to tap into some of the success definitely helps as well. And I mean, they're doing some renovations over at Lindsey Nelson.
Yep.
They're going to get more capacity.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it's just one of the greatest atmospheres in all of college baseball.
No question about it. And we talked about the SEC as it relates to football, but SEC baseball right now is on just a tremendous run right now. Not just a streak of national champions, but how many different programs have done so. And Tennessee has put their name right there at the top of the echelon with the LSUs of the world, with Mississippi State's back in the day, Vanderbilt's, as you mentioned, that is doing it. Interesting thought experiment I just thought of as we were talking about this. Obviously, he replaces Bob Melvin, who was there for a while. And because this is a history marker, and you are our baseball guy, I'm going to pose an interesting question for you. Which one do you think would be easier for a MLB manager to come to the college ranks, or for what Vitello is doing right now to go from the college ranks to the MLB?
Oh, MLB manager going to the college ranks. Yes. And it goes back to the whole egos thing. I mean, MLB managers already know how to manage egos.
Right.
College baseball head coaches, they might think that they know at the college level, but you don't know until you actually do it. And honestly, at the MLB level, it is so hard to keep all 40 of your or 26 of your guys, and then if you want to expand it to the 40-man roster, all 40 of your guys on the same page, all in line with each other. It is so hard to do that if you've never done that before.
Absolutely.
And I feel like when you have all of that experience at the managerial level in the MLB, and you have all of your coaches, you're soaking up all this information from your hitting coaches, your pitching coaches. I mean, usually guys that manage in the MLB are also former players.
Right.
You have so much knowledge that you can just share and make your college team better. So I don't know what you think, but I feel like that's got to be easier.
I'm with you. I'm with you because you have a shorter season, and when you're in the pros and you come to the college ranks, a lot of times you could just use your resume as a part of your recruiting pitch. You know, hey, every one of the guys that you are recruiting is a guy that wants to go to be the pros, and he's like, hey, you can just say, hey, I've been there. I know what it takes. I can get you there. Now, people will point to, and correctly so, places where it failed, like Bill Belichick right now in Chapel Hill, and some other places where going from the pro ranks to the college ranks hasn't worked out as smoothly. But we'll see how it works out for Vitello as he heads over to the Bay Area. We will also see and keep in close contact with our friends over in Knoxville to see who they hire now as one of the now marquee jobs in college baseball comes open at the University of Tennessee. Coming up next here on Southeast Sports Plus, we will visit with our good friend Mariah Ross to talk the South